It is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode. Tuesday, Monday's hangover. It's the Chad Prather Show. Soon to be the newly revised Chad Prather Show. We're moving through that wall right over there. Show them, Mark. Show them where we're moving. Show the whole thing. See where I'm pointing? See right there? We're going out into there, and we're going through that wall. I don't know, Mark. Is it going to be like it's going to be a bigger space, or what are we going to do? I feel like a kid that's getting a new house or something, or a person that's getting a new house, a kid that's getting a bigger Star Wars toy or something.
Yeah, it'll be a bigger space. It'll look pretty much the same on camera because it'll be the same walls, but we'll have more space to move things around. And
are we going to be able to set up some different places where I can talk from?
Yeah, we'll be able to set up some different stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Different meaning with different perspective. I may even take the hat off some. You never know. It's going to be different. It's going to be different. I am committed. I am committed more than ever to making sure that not only you get information, insight, investigation. We're going to expose some things because I think that's where we're at right now. We have to start exposing the frauds that are out there in the world. And still want to do it from a humorous perspective because that's just how I'm wired, and Chris won't let me do it any other way. But we're going to have fun in 2022. It's going to be good. And that, again, I don't know, Mark. I don't know if they're going to let me come back. I think because they're moving all of our crap next door, that is a good indicator that Blaze wants me to stick around.
They're actually taking it out the door, unfortunately. They're just telling you that.
I noticed the pub was out in the dumpster this morning. I went into my dressing room, and all the boxes of Bonner wine, our cowboy wines, were in the box in my dressing room. My dressing room, by the way, still does not have carpet. It's still where they did they dug out the plumbing. And I'm sort of like wanting them to leave it that way because Pepper the Patriot dog, she just gets in there and gets in her box, lays on my T-shirts, and she's out. But she's never pooped or peed in there. The execs, they came to me and they said, hey, your dog, we don't mind if your dog comes to the studio, but we just don't want her pooping and peeing. No, she went in there and did that right next to Rob Eno's desk. And Rob lost his mind. He was like, oh, my God. I was like, dude, it's not the end of the world. He took a rolling chair. He took an office chair and set it over the poop. And this dog poops the size of a miniature horse, and it's about as much poop as an Austin politician, quite honestly. And I was like, dude, I'll clean it up. I don't, anyway. She's a puppy. She's never pooped in there, though. As soon as, you mark my word, as soon as we get new carpet in that dressing room, she's going everywhere. She's going everywhere, I'm telling you. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But they haven't changed anything. So I don't know. I'm on the bubble, Mark. I don't know how I'm feeling about this. I'm very insecure. We'll see. I may be coming to you via ham radio in an RV trailer out in the middle of a Big Bend National Forest. I don't know. But nonetheless, I think we're looking forward to a good new year, and it's going to be great. I'll tell you what, this was an interesting year. 2021 was an interesting year. So back in February, when the power went out in Texas, and it was a sad situation because people couldn't heat their homes. People died. It was really, really bad. We called it Snowmageddon, Snowvid. And I did this shirt. Many of you will remember it. Many of you bought it. Gosh, how'd this thing get turned inside out? You remember my Snowvid shirt? I survived Snowvid 21 right there. We sold a ton of those. This was one of the special ones we did for the Angel Staffing that does staffing for medical workers and stuff. They bought a bunch of them for their employees. But we donated the proceeds of those shirts to help the homeless. And I got news over the weekend that the new trailer for Fort Worth has been built out. That provides a place for showers and clothing changes. And they actually, the Cloud Covered Streets is who puts this out and does this. They actually employ homeless people. They help them get going, help them find jobs, get them cleaned up, shaved, haircut, showers, the whole thing. And we helped build some of that out, and the trailer that we contributed to is now on the streets in Fort Worth. So we're excited about that. All from a T-shirt. And, of course, over the weekend, we had those devastating tornadoes that happened across the country. I mean, the footage of that is so sad. And if you've ever been in a tornado, and I have, it's scary. It's very scary. I mean, you are really literally at the mercy of God in that situation. Some of those towns, looking at the footage in the pictures, they would have been better off if someone had just dropped a bomb on their town. This is horrible, and the loss of life and just the loss of everything you hold dear, your home, your hometown, the things that you grew up around. Now they're just demolished and gone. It's horrible. So over the weekend, we contributed all of our sales, everything that we've done, all proceeds were going to help benefit these folks who are affected in these storms. We're going to continue to do a percentage of that. Whenever you try to do anything like that, people get mad at you. They're like, oh, how much are you giving? It doesn't matter. It really shouldn't matter to you how much a person chooses to give. We're not making any money off of it, all right? In fact, it's costing me money, all right? I'm giving personally, and I'm basically giving my business to these causes. And so you put it out there, and it's like sometimes people like to contribute and get something back for their contribution. We do that with T-shirts and hats, okay? And just chill, folks. Just relax. Nobody's getting rich off of another person's personal tragedy. I can assure you of that. It's not from here anyway. So we appreciate those of you who continually give and buy and donate and do all those things to just help other people. Trust me when I tell you, the guys can tell you, I just got off the phone with my CPA, and it ain't good. Everybody thinks I'm out there just printing money. I promise you, taxation is theft. Anyway, you got homeowners insurance for a good reason, because without it, as we've just talked about, these crazy tragedies can happen. Fire, flood, burglary, tornadoes, all these things, they can destroy you financially. But there's a major crime out there. Homeowner policies do not cover this. Home title fraud. FBI calls title fraud one of the fastest growing crimes in the world. Can ruin you financially. You need Home Title Lock, because what happens is the criminal forges your signature on documents that state you sold your home to him, and then takes out loans against your home and leaves you with the payments and the debt. You're going to spend a fortune in legal fees trying to prove you didn't commit fraud. Home Title Lock puts a barrier around your home's title. The instant they detect anyone, from a cyber thief to a family member, trying to forge their way into your home's title, they're going to shut it down. So go to HometitleLock.com, register your address, see if you're already a victim. Enter code RADIO for 30 free days of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com, and we'll be right back. I had let me read this to you. I did a post the other day, and people don't know this. Let's see if I can find it again, Chris. I did a post about my life, and I've done a lot of things in life. Most people know that. And most of it just kind of in a jackleg sort of way. I just kind of float through life, and I enjoy doing different things. And I posted this. I'm going to make this about me. I can't, because it's Christmas, and I just had a birthday last week, and by God, I want to celebrate me. But I made this post, and it kind of shocked a lot of people. I kind of took for granted how many people didn't know these things. And then I tell them, I say, if you watch the show, you'd kind of know a lot of these things. But I said, yes, I've built a hugely successful entertainment business. I've also built a great apparel company. I have a social media following that's counted in the millions and over 1 billion video views. Most people know all that. Do you know that I pastored 3 churches? I did. 2 in Alabama, 1 in Georgia. I was also involved in ministries from there to Texas. Do you know that I spent over a decade in third world countries, in and out, doing mission, humanitarian, and medical work? Do you know that I was an executive with a Fortune 300 company? A lot of people said, so tell us what Fortune 500 company you ran. Not what I said. I was an executive with a Fortune 300 company, Granger Industrial Supply. I taught seminary, which is master's level Greek. I've served on numerous boards, including the American Valor Foundation with the family of Chris Kyle, Wayne, and Debbie. I heard from Wayne the other day on my birthday. That's Chris Kyle's parents, along with Jeff and Amy. Jeff is Chris Kyle's brother. I said I could continue on, but I think you get the point. For a guy who hasn't done anything and has no experience, I've done a few things. So that got like 41,000 reactions on Facebook on my personal page. That's a lot of reactions on a deal like that. And so I've done a lot of stuff. And back when I was pastoring a church, I say all that to get into this. Pastoring a church in Alabama, we had a deacon who was in the church who was in a tornado. At some point in time, living in that part of Alabama, we were all in tornadoes one time or another, but he had been involved in a tornado in '94. and he and his wife huddled down together in a linen closet in the center of their house. When they came out of the linen closet, literally after the tornado went through, literally the only thing left was the linen closet. It had taken the entire house and moved it like 100 yards and just thrown it, but they were left. So trust me when I tell you, he went out and he was scared of weather for the rest of his life. He'd sit on the back row of the church if weather was going. He'd sit on there so he could hear. They had put a weather radio alarm in one of the offices out in the foyer of the church. He'd sit on the back row so he could hear that thing. I mean, it made an impact. So my heart, having pastored churches and lived in those areas which are tornado heavy. I tell you what, there's my heart goes out to these folks. I've known people who have lost lives and loved ones' lives in tornadoes, specifically in Alabama. This is a horrific thing. So give, folks, give. And so I say all that just rambling along the way that I am because, of course, you're going to use tragedy to make a big deal out of everything. And so Joe Biden came out the other day, and, of course, he blamed climate change. I want to blame climate change on Joe Biden. I mean, that's why we have an idiot like Joe Biden. It's got to be climate change. Everything's climate change. And can we play that, please, Chris? Can we play it?
All that I know is that the intensity of the weather across the board has some impacts as a consequence of the warming of the planet and the climate change. The specific impact on these specific storms, I can't say at this point. I'm going to be asking the EPA and others to take a look at that. But the fact is that we all know everything is more intense when the climate is warming. Everything. And obviously it has some impact here, but I can't give you a quantitative read on that.
So our friend Joe Bastardi, who, of course, is a meteorologist, and I've listened to Joe for years, and now he's written a great book, and he's on a lot of the talk shows with Hannity. I hear him a lot on the David Webb show in the mornings. When I listen to David Webb, usually I'm tuned into the Glenn Beck program on SiriusXM Triumph, channel 114. But he accused Biden, Joe Bastardi accused Biden of weaponizing tornadoes. He even shared the data showing that severe weather this year has not been as severe compared to previous years. He said, clueless Joe Biden in action again with his weaponization of tornadoes. 1, violent tornadoes not increasing. 2, this year tornadoes, hail, and wind altogether near record low. He said, mindless media should do their dang job and call him on it. I called Trump out on Dorian gibberish. The data Bastardi included, coming from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, directly contradicts claims from Biden and Criswell that severe weather is more intense because of climate change. He goes on, he says, look, the first graph here shows that the carbon emissions increased between 1954 and 2014. The number of annual tornadoes did not increase. In fact, it went down. Then he shows a graph that says that the number of recorded tornadoes December 11th, 2021 is in fact close to a record low. So on and on it goes. I mean, this is the kind of stuff he shows it, and you can follow Big Joe Bastardi on Twitter, and he's got this on here with all the graphs and shows it. So again, they want to exploit these isolated weather events. They want to do it because they're trying to promote a certain narrative. They're trying to push a certain policy. This is why I keep telling people everywhere I go, we got to stop turning ideologies into policy. Everything that's woke turns to crap, and climate narrative, it lends itself to that. It's, climate, by the definition, is the observable patterns of weather over long periods of time, not isolated events. That's what climate is. You can't say that it rained today and that's the climate. It's not what it is. So, if climate change were really driving more intense weather, such as this phenomenon, it would be observable over a substantial period of time. Like we would have 100 years of massive tornadoes just wiping everything out. But anyway, people, this is not climate science. It's climate religion is what it's become. And how dare you ever go out publicly and say anything about their so-called science? Because, you denier. Yeah, the climate changes. That's the purpose of the climate. That's what it does. I mean, we managed to have a whole ice age without humans on the planet. I mean, without mass populations of people. We had a whole ice age. It's amazing how that happened. And anyway, it just goes on and on. But the idea that you would politicize in order to push an agenda, this devastating loss that happened in these states and these people's lives that were lost and these towns and these cities that were devastated and destroyed, and people's lives were destroyed, absolute insanity. So anyway, shut up, Joe. Shut up, Joe. I'm loving also talking about the narrative coming back to bite you in the ass. You have all of these CEOs from these big companies that are wanting, they're called these CEOs, these big retailers, they want the lawmakers to address this massive wave of smash and grab crimes. Now, wait a minute. Here's the thing. You see the image there of these people coming in. You know, we've seen it in the big stores. We've seen it in Apple. We've seen it at Louis Vuitton. We've seen it in, all of these big high-end deals, right? These are the guys who were woke. I mean, these were the guys who supported BLM. These are the guys who supported the protests and the riots and all this. It was all fine and good when they were burning somebody else's stuff down. But now when they're coming for your stuff, we got to get the law involved. Now, I can't defend my store, I can't be rooftop Korean and take care of my neighborhood. I got to just let them burn everything to the ground. But now when it's your stuff, the CEOs are saying, no, we need more stuff. So Retail Industry Leaders Association, they said in a letter to congressional leadership, as millions of Americans have undoubtedly seen on the news in recent weeks and months, retail establishments of all kinds have seen a significant uptick in organized crime in communities across the nation. Oh, yeah. CEOs of Best Buy, Target, CVS, Dollar General, or $1.50 General now, they all signed the letter, and they want to pass the Integrity, Notification, and Fairness in Online Retail Marketplaces for Consumers Act, which the executive said will make it harder for stolen goods to be sold through online marketplaces, such as that run by Facebook. I'm of the mindset where you made the bed, lay in it. Just lay in it. Everybody wants to be bailed out. That's the thing, man. They said this trend has made retail businesses a target for increasing theft, hurt legitimate businesses who are forced to compete against unscrupulous sellers, and has greatly increased consumer exposure to unsafe and dangerous counterfeit products. Well, we wouldn't want to be selling any unsafe or counterfeit products. We want to steal the real shit and sell that. So it's gotten to be a big thing, man. And they're like, and then Jeff Bezos, who's garbage, who of course is the founder of Amazon. I think 10 of his Amazon employees were killed in the tornadoes the other night, and he went out and partied. He took off. I mean, he had a night out. You would think that human decency would make you want to be concerned about the state of your employees who were just ravaged by a major natural disaster. But no, he had to go out there and get jiggy with it. These guys make me sick, man. I mean, look, I make me sick sometimes, right? Like sometimes I'm sick of myself. That's a lot of times. But my God, what scum of humanity have we gotten to be? Like, again, these CEOs, they're okay when people are burning down their own communities. And you're having those mostly peaceful protests. But come and take their stuff. And you know the difference between them and you is they can write a letter to Nancy Pelosi, and she actually reads the damn thing. Me and you, we're stuck. They come in to take our stuff. That's why, as I alluded to yesterday, I'm becoming a Eric Julian. I'm going to tell him that's the thing. Like how they name economics after certain people. I'm going to start naming my libertarianism after Eric July. I'm a Julian. I think that works. Julian libertarian? Yeah. I'm a July libertarian. I'm going to tell him I said that. Because I'm at a point now where, you know what? You take care of your stuff. I'll take care of my stuff. You take care of your stuff. My freedom goes all the way out to the point where it affects somebody else's freedom, and that's the barrier. That's where it stops. When I cross your boundary, it's no longer freedom anymore because now I'm encroaching on you, and that's criminal. So here's the deal. You come on my property without my permission, we got an issue. And I can take care of it. How about that? Because everybody wants to defund the police, right? That's the whole thing. You want to have the therapist come out or the social worker or whoever. They're going to handle all of these crazies and all this nonsense that's going on. No. I'll handle it. Let's just make a deal right now on the Chad Prather Show. Right now, Tuesday, whatever the day is, it is December 14th. Let's make a deal that from now on in America, I handle mine, you handle yours, and let's leave each other alone. I mean, that's some extreme nonsense, right? We don't need the government to get involved. We don't need them to. But no, the big retailers, that's exactly what they want. We need the government to get involved because you know what? People don't care about law. They don't care about your locks. They don't care about your alarms. They don't care about the dignity of the people that they're running over to steal your Gucci bags. They don't care about any of that stuff. So let's get the law involved. So let's create more oversight, more in-reach, more overreach on the part of the federal government so they can take care of your crap because we've commercialized ourselves to death. And yes, I do believe in a free market. And I do believe in capitalism. I believe you spend your money however you want to do it. You make your money however you want to do it. I don't care, again, as long as you're not hurting somebody else to do it. But let's just take care of our own stuff because these guys right here, they don't care about you and the lawmakers don't care about you. But when Daddy Warbucks comes calling and says somebody stole his iWatches out of the store, then they're going to start paying attention. They don't care. Somebody takes your crap or burns your community to the ground. They don't care. So let's get back to some of that. How about that? And let's see if Jeff Bezos can fly his penis rocket into space without you buying some crap off of Amazon for Christmas. Hey, guilty as charged. I'm as guilty as you are. We've all done it. We've all continued to do it. We hand them the power. They take the power away from us. They tell us, hey, it's all going to be okay. We're from the government. We're here to help. We're from big business. We're here to help. We're from social media. We're here to help. We're here from big media, mainstream media. Will you believe what we tell you? And then just go on back to sleep. Just lull yourself back into complacency. Nope, no more. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Going to call it out. Going to call it exactly what it is. It is bullshit to the nth degree, and it stinks to high heaven. So you know what? No, lawmakers, don't come to the aid of those guys. They made their bed. Let them lay in it. Let them eat woke shit. How about that? This winter, upgrade your daily routine with Bespoke Post. It's a good place to get your stuff right there. Their Box of Awesome collections. I should have brought my latest one in. It's pretty cool. Bespoke Post partners with small businesses and emerging brands to bring you the most unique goods every single month. No matter what you're into, Box of Awesome has you covered. Winter cocktails, cozy threads, camping gear essentials. Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life. You got to take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. And they release a new box every single month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime. Each box, $45, got over $70 worth of gear. Plus, each Box of Awesome is supporting a small business. 90% of everything that comes in your Box of Awesome is from a small, up-and-coming brand. I like that. 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and use the code WATCHCHAD at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com. Use code WATCHCHAD. Get 20% off your first box. Hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Hey, it's funny how numbers work. Amid the existential dread existing around this country's current fiscal situation, it's at least somewhat amusing and even relieving to realize that the percentage rise of inflation in the United States may well be inversely proportional to the drop in Sleepy Joe Biden's poll numbers. Now, this would be a nice thing to think about at the gas pump. I'm having to surgically remove an arm and a leg just to get across town, but at least the likelihood of this drooling dipshit and his coterie of dastardly doofuses getting back into office is getting less and less all the time. Folks, inflation isn't just here, it's growing. If you've been paying attention at all to the news, by which I mean the real news, not CNN or MSNBC, then you've seen the numbers and they're not good. Last month, inflation jumped to its highest level in nearly 40 years. It's been higher than 5% now for over 6 solid months, and it keeps rising. Now, if that number doesn't scare you, it's because you haven't yet realized that inflation is running far too quickly for the market to be able to catch up. Gas prices in November alone shot up over 58%, and you can't tell me that you don't feel that. And what does our illustrious commander-in-chief have to say about it? Why, it's COVID's fault. Of course it is. Supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, you name it. The Biden administration will throw anything and everything out in front of that charging bus except the phrase, "We screwed the pooch." The level of cognitive dissonance to which these people not only stoop, but expect you to stoop is frankly astonishing. I want you to remember something. Last year, after the COVID pandemic came along and flattened the economy, the Trump administration was well on its way to rebuilding the best economy of our lifetime again. That's what deregulation and keeping the government out of the economy's way will do for you. This was something that Trump understood and Biden does not. For the few hours every day that Biden's got enough drugs in him to be conscious, his worldview of things like the economy is pretty plainly that it is the thing best managed by government. But anyone of you who's been alive for more than 5 minutes and has ever made more than a couple of financial transactions knows that's nonsense. Hell, Biden's made plenty of financial transactions outside of the loving arms of the American government. He ought to know better. Folks, the transformative element in American politics, in the rare instances when it has transformed, has always been an awakening from within the collective consciousness of its citizens. Now, if you've heard me talk about it once, you've heard me talk about it 1,000 times. Never forget the government exists for one primary reason: to protect your rights. It's not there to supply your rights, and it's not there to control the way that you or the whole economy do business. It's wormed its way into those things because that is the nature of governments. Imagine a cart full of bad apples with a few good ones rolling around in it. That's what government looks like. The people in the media who carry all the water for these psychopaths want you to believe that they know what they're doing and that they have your best interests at heart. Don't buy that narrative, people. We've got to get Biden and those who think like him. I'm not sure anybody thinks like Joe Biden, but you take my meaning. You understand what I'm saying. We've got to get these crazy people out of office and put in people who have a truer understanding of the American way of doing things. But it goes beyond that. That understanding has to take better root in our own minds and hearts because elected officials come and go. Some of them a lot more slowly than we'd want, but they do. Underlying principles never disappear unless we let them. And we do that by getting lazy, by setting our principles to the side whenever it gets hard to do anything about them. Let's get back to thinking about these things critically and acting upon them in our lives. And then maybe, just maybe, we can turn this ship around before the rest of it scrapes along the iceberg, and we all have to just sit on the deck listening to the string quartet play us out as we sink to the bottom. I wish that we had somebody, I'm not going to say any names, somebody that understood, numbers, maybe the art of the deal, that understood the art of the deal. Our very own Glenn Beck, I sent him down to Mar-a-Lago to visit with Donald Trump over the weekend. Yeah, and I wanted to make sure those two connected. And he sat down with DJT for about an hour, and they're going to air that interview after the first of the year. And I was listening to Trump. I was listening to Glenn yesterday morning talk about Mar-a-Lago and the history of Mar-a-Lago, and how Glenn said he wants to go down and do a documentary about Mar-a-Lago. Because whenever Mar-a-Lago had fallen into disrepair, it was built in the 1920s. And it was huge. And they were talking about, it had fallen in disrepair. They were trying to sell it. It was a historical site. They were talking about somebody buying it, turning it into like a summer White House or whatever, a winter White House. I don't know what it was. But I don't really listen that closely. But Trump wanted to buy it. He offered them $15 million, and they said no. And so told him he was just going to buy the property next to it, and he was going to build a house so large that it was going to obstruct their view. And so he wound up buying it for $10 million. and then he was able to raise the money. You'll have to watch the thing with Glenn. It's pretty fantastic. But I mean, Trump is a sly dog, man. He's a sly cat. Knows how to work a deal. I wish a guy like that was around. I wish around who kind of understood, because this seems intentional because you just can't, as Stuber here, I heard him wisely, you can't flip the coin this times and be that consistently wrong. Like, you're going to hit it heads or tails. You're going to hit it right some of the time. I mean, maybe 33% of the time you're going to get it right, but you're going to get some of it right. This administration right. Nothing right. Amazing Twitter bots and the empty heads and the puppets come out on Twitter and they want to come at me and they want to, oh, you Trump tards and you Trumpies and you blah, 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 you. And I'm like, oh, my God, I mean, how can you defend this administration? What was it asshole said tonight? God, that's a statement. The late night Fallon, who Joe Biden had to go on Jimmy Fallon with note cards. Who goes on Jimmy Fallon with note cards? He's holding note cards in the Skype thing or the Zoom call. And Jimmy's like, you've returned dignity to the office. It's good to see that you've returned dignity to the office. What do you, like, how much are they paying y'all to say this stuff? That's what I want to know. Like, do we have it? Can we play it real quick? We got 2 clips. Do we have time or do we need to come back to it? Let's play it. Let's do it.
I did Bob Dole's eulogy today. He asked me on his deathbed whether I would do his eulogy. We're friends. We disagreed, but we were friends. We used to have an awful lot of that relationship, and there still exists, except that the QAnon and the extreme elements of the Republican Party and what Donald Trump keeps sort of, seems to me, feeding the with the big lie, it makes it awful hard. And I think most Republicans, and there's an awful lot of Republicans in Congress, I think, would agree.
Okay. Yeah, it's the big lie. It's these Trumplicans. It's what it is. It's basically what he said. These crazy extreme fringe groups out here on the side. Is there time for the second one or no? Play it real quick.
How much do you pay attention to approval ratings?
Well, not anymore. No, I'm joking. I was paying attention in the mid-60s. Now in the mid-40s, I don't pay attention anymore.
I appreciate the honesty, yeah. I mean, because you came in hot, and then you got to medium, and now you're at a low. But you just got to keep your head down, right, and just keep doing the right thing.
The right thing. The right thing is what you got to keep doing, Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't know how much poop is on his toilet paper when he wipes, okay? Much less paying attention to approval ratings. That's my take on that. Listen, guys, stop ignoring my advice. You did it last year. I'm telling you right now, get started. I told you how thousands of guys trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention. If you'd have trusted me back then, maybe you'd be showing off a thick head of hair in the holiday photos this year. Keeps offers doctor-recommended, FDA-approved hair treatment. It's a real deal, folks, with 5-star reviews. Got more than any of its competitors, and they use the generic versions of the medicines, so you pay about half the cost. And best of all, you do everything online. So answer a few easy questions. Snap a couple of pictures of your hair. A licensed doctor is going to review your info, recommend the right hair loss treatment for you. They're going to ship it to your door. And if you got questions along the way, you can message the Keeps doctor 24/7. Track all your progress with the Keeps Progress Tracking tool. So I'm going to get you started with a special discount. Quit ignoring me. Let's do this. Go to keeps.com/loss for 50% off your first order. That's keeps.com/loss. Keeps.com/loss. We'll be right back. Now, what I want to do here, is I just want to show you just how blind. Like, you got, what was his name, Fallon? You had Jimmy Fallon, who just said, you just keep your head down and keep doing the right thing. What's the right thing? What is the right thing? Explain to me. Tell me, what is the right thing? Inflation growth, 5%, 6%. Gas prices in a month increased by 58%. Explain to me, Afghanistan? What's the right thing? Name me a right thing that's out there, okay? So there's another Jimmy out there who's a brain-dead moron. We've talked about him before. I think you're going to recognize him. Let's hear what he has to say about the Biden economy. Play it.
Right, first of all, to me, we have the strongest economy perhaps I have ever seen. See that number, this unemployment number? It's the best in years. It's not best in 69. We have all spotted the endless help wanted signs, the housing and apartment shortages, the tremendous demand for goods and services, a marvel to behold.
Wow.
Oh, people are confident about their jobs. I say fantastic. And the ability to even get better ones if they want to. They're spending more than I've ever seen, but they're doing it with cash, not on credit. They're doing so in a Roaring '20s style.
That's amazing to me. Like, I'm like, like, how much do y'all get to peddle this crap? That's what I want to know. Because I'm missing out on a gig.
Well, Chad, do you remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago or last week, where the press secretary, Jen Psaki, was upset at the media for not giving the White House credit for the economy.
Yeah.
And a week later, you have all these people saying, oh, it's great. It's the best economy in the world.
Yeah. It's amazing, right? And then the jobs numbers want to come out. Yeah, you destroy everybody's jobs. And then you make it where people can actually go back to work a little bit, and you're going to take the credit and say, oh, the jobs numbers are all because of Joe Biden. Sure. Yeah. Okay. But you know what? We lap this crap up. We do. Again, that's why I go back to the point we were making yesterday, talking about Biden wanting to spend what, $30 million and contribute to an international media in the name of free speech. No. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. They will, as long as ideologues are behind it, and trust me, everybody's an ideologue, especially when you got that kind of money. With the money comes an ideology, and you will not bite the hand that feeds you. You're not going to do that. So the Jim Cramers of the world, the Jimmy Fallons of the world, the blah, blah, blahs, you name them, they're all out there. They're going to continue to pander to this leftist progressivism. They want a globalist society. They want globalism. They want a destroyed economy. They do not want American exceptionalism. You know, I was having a conversation this weekend. I did an event with, got a full endorsement again from Roger Stone. Naysayers be damned. I'm this close to getting General Michael Flynn. We talked at length, and I did an event with Eric Trump. And it's interesting. I was talking to somebody. I said, you know, just this idea that now they've perverted this idea of nationalism, right? That you love your nation, that you want your nation to be the best. This sense of patriotism. Patriotism is now equated with insurrectionists and racism and these ideologies of the extremes. And that's dumb. To say that, oh, you can't even say I'm a nationalist without saying, oh, well, you're one of those white supremacists, aren't you? One of them crazy people. This is what I'm talking about when I say they destroy your language. If they destroy your language, they can destroy your culture. They take away all your words that you can use to defend yourself. That you need to remember that. See, they want to change the meanings of the words. That way you can't say, hey, I love my country. I want my country to be first. Nowhere else in the world does a country define itself by its dream. There's the American dream. You don't talk about the Swedish dream. You don't talk about I've had a couple of Swedish dreams. You know what I'm talking about? But you don't talk about the British dream. You don't talk about the Zimbabwean dream. You don't talk about that stuff. You don't talk about the Australian dream. It's the American dream. The American dream is that thing that says, you know what, you can come in here with absolutely nothing. You can work hard and you have a freedom of opportunity, an equality of opportunity that you can pull yourself up. And you know what, never more than ever, I will say this, Jim Cramer, while the economy has, in my opinion, and trust me, I'm heavily invested in the markets, and I'm a cash-only guy. I don't have credit cards. Haven't had a credit card since 2007. 2007. I don't believe in credit cards. You know, the Bible says if you have the money at hand, do not let your creditor call on you tomorrow. I try to live by that. If I owe somebody something, I want to pay them. I don't like debt. And so I live without it. And that's the thing where it's like, gosh, America, though, is still the best place for opportunity. But they're going to take that away. They're going to take that away because they're going to demonize the opportunity. As long as they can demonize the opportunities that are out there and continue to convince you that you're a victim, that you're oppressed, that somebody's done something, that the man is holding you down because of whatever external factor may be out there. Maybe it's the community you're from. Maybe it's the color of your skin. Maybe it's your socioeconomic heritage and background. Maybe it's something your parents did. Maybe it's a reputation. Maybe it's something you said wrong on Twitter. That's the whole idea. Cancel culture, all these things. If they can come out there and they can say, no, you can't rise above what's been done to you because America's so evil. I want to remind you that America has done more for the global economy over the years than any other country that's ever existed. Capitalism has lifted more people out of poverty than any other economic system that has ever existed. America, we don't sit around talking about, oh man, I'm so happy all these other countries came in. We just had these massive tornadoes that wiped out the Midwest. Did we get a payment from Russia? I mean, are we going to get some benevolence from places like that say, you know what we want to do? We want to come to your aid. We want to come to your aid. We want to come in there and help you guys rebuild. Because God knows we rebuild the shit out of some stuff globally. And they're not coming in here to rebuild us. It's up to us. So you know what? We can crash the plane. We can hand over our economy and turn it over to the globalists, be run by the UN, and just spend the rest of our lives pandering to their BS and ideological wokeness and the craziness. Because the asylums are empty, folks. And as long as they can change the words and change the language, change the meanings, and take it back to a place where what you say ain't even what you mean anymore, we got a problem. I'll give you a perfect example. Play a TikTok.
I'm dreaming of a masked Christmas. Pick that shit up over your nose. Where the anti-maskers listen. And there's no political division to get our COVID count so low. Oh, to know.
Yeah.
I'm dreaming of a masked Christmas.
Okay. That right there is a perfect example. They want to pass that off as creativity. They want to pass that off as ingenuity, as they probably identify as being in tune. Literally, who in their right mind sits around going, you know what I want to do? I want to wrap a piece of cloth, a piece of paper around my face, and that is my dream for Christmas. That's what I want. I don't want to walk out and have that new Lexus with the bow and the big bow on it. I don't want that. No, I don't want world peace. I don't want the hungry to be fed. I don't want the homeless to be housed. I don't want any of that. No, my dream is not for true love. It is not for independence. It is not for freedom. It is not for life and liberty. It's not for happiness or joy. Oh, no. I want to be masked. We'll be right back. All right, Friday night, if you've hung in here this long, Friday night I'm going to be at Arlington Music Hall. Chad Prather and friends bringing the Ragamuffins with me. Arlington Music Hall. You get tickets at watchchad.com. It's where all the fun stuff is. Arlington, Texas, by the way, is where that is. Friday night. Going to be a fun show. Going to be the last show I do for a while. I don't know when I'm going to do another live show. I don't know. We got the primary race that's coming up March 1st. I don't know. I don't have anything planned show-wise for 22. And I don't know, man, I'm tired, My heart is for Texas right now. We're focused on that, and we'll see where we go. So come out and hang with us. Who knows, maybe the last tour show I ever do. We'll see. We got a rating. We got a review. I always encourage people to give us a 5-star rating and a good review. Dale W42, awesome show. Chad, I love your show as a truck driver. It gives me some entertainment while making those long, lonely trips. Be careful out there. I really appreciate you taking the time to mention us truck drivers and thanking us for what we do. Not often we hear that. Keep up the good work. And Chad Prather 2022, if I lived in Texas, you would have my vote. Thank you. Be safe out there, man. Our over-the-road truckers, man. Those guys, I tell you what, God bless you. Be careful, guys and girls out there driving those trucks. It's a dangerous job, and I appreciate you, and I'm thankful for you. So thanks for keeping America moving. You are running the arteries, the blood through the arteries, folks. Hey, watchchad.com is where the fun stuff is. Don't forget, chadonblaze.com. Use promo code CHAD20. Get yourself a Blaze subscription as well. We'll be back tomorrow night, Wednesday. Love you. God bless you. Bye.